1. Aries and Pisces. Aries woman and Pisces man. Rarely, such a perfect mix occurs in tandem, helping ensure a successful and favorable connection. They may feel harmoniously paired with their complementary opposites, rather than rejecting one another. They have a good understanding of their own needs and are dedicated to satisfying them, as both individuals recognize the mutual commitment to making their significant other happy. He, Pisces, because of his hot temper, is totally unpredictable, which is why she should go for a calm and reliable man, while she, Aries, because of her short fuse, is hard to predict, making it difficult for her to find a dependable mate. He will admire her wonderful character, but he will also be amazed by her immense energy and enthusiasm. It is entirely feasible that she, Aries, may eventually become tired with his calmer personality and seek out further experiences by the side of a partner who is like her, although such an occurrence is unusual. An Aries man with a Pisces woman. It has the opportunity to result in a long-term, for the rest of one's life, happy relationship. He, Aries, is widely renowned for his fierce temper and also for his capacity to provide great affection. He will dedicate himself to her completely, and she will undoubtedly be pleased, as he will do everything for her. The most essential thing for she, Pisces, is that he can provide her the sense of safety and calm, even when he doesn't have it. She, by contrast, will use her intuition and innate sensitivity to know how to deal with his short-tempered nature and to uncover his positive character traits, which are frequently obscured by his bad energy and his naturally wild tendencies. She also has a hard time expressing herself, which makes him feel embarrassed about his bluntness, and both will require a great deal of patience to cope with their differences, which might, however, teach them valuable behavioral patterns and make them happy for a long time. 2. Aries and Aquarius. Aries woman and Aquarius man. If none of them is trying to accumulate more things, they will be content together and their relationship will be successful. Because they are both capable of compromising and making tremendous sacrifices for the sake of love, they are able to bestow a great deal of happiness and a strong sense of fulfillment on each other. The nature of their relationship is practically one of simple, kind, and positive occurrences. No matter what occurs, they have learned to cope, to lean on each other, and get through the hard times together. Difficult events make their relationship stronger, but they are hardly ever tested. They have a great point in their favor, which is being able to connect with people, since they always know what they want and desire. Therefore, they don't need to talk directly to them. Aries man and woman Aquarius. The two work well together, but only for a short-term relationship, not for a long-term one. For the most part, they enjoy working at their firm. However, if it means they may have fun and experience new things, they will gladly return. They are both wild, enthusiastic, and motivated to experiment with new things. But it would eventually dawn on them that such a relationship cannot endure forever because they all lack long-term, meaningful, and stable experiences. She, Aquarius, who once she's had enough fun, turns out to be rather emotional and sensitive. He, Aries, may not be able to offer the sense of security she, Aquarius, needs. If she continues the relationship nevertheless, it might have detrimental effects on her mental health. She will have no one to depend on and will constantly be exposed to the moods of both herself and her partner, who will always be changing. 3. Aries and Capricorn. Aries women and Capricorn men. There is no chance for a healthy relationship to be formed for them. Initially, they believe they have a tremendous passion or extraordinary knowledge in common, but as the story unfolds, the characters realize they are quite different. So even if they fantasize about the same things like getting married, having kids, and being happy, they'll never agree on their shared destiny. And the sooner they understand it, the better. Each of them should pursue his own goals. Despite doing their hardest, the disparities will inevitably create additional misery and stress. Understood conflict of interests wipes off the possibility of understanding in every other context, not only in romantic relationships. Aries man and Capricorn women. They both want to have the last word, and are prepared to argue to the death over their opinions. Though the subject of a debate might not be worth it, they never give up fighting for their interest or benefit. To make things even stranger, however, the couple succeeds in creating a friendly connection only when they both appreciate each other and recognize their own shortcomings, rather than finding flaws in the other person. She, Capricorn, is disciplined, while he, Aries, may appear carefree. This is what might appeal to her the most. He is extremely attractive and charismatic, and that adds to her insecurities around him, as she lets him get away with more than anybody else does. His admiration for her only deepens because of the way she lives by the rules. For Aries and Sagittarius. Aries women and Sagittarius man. The potential for a mutually beneficial and joyful partnership may be great for she Aries and he Sagittarius, but only if they can accept each other's faults and antics. As long as they genuinely love one another, everything should be just fine. When it comes to choosing a living arrangement, he Sagittarius is very autonomous, but he must be open to making adjustments if he wants to live with she Aries. He will like his spouse, and that should be a piece of cake, because he will also be ready to sacrifice. It is possible that all of the aforementioned characteristics, along with mutual respect, may form the cornerstone of a close relationship and live out the rest of their lives together in peace and harmony. Aries man and Sagittarius women. Both characters desire to follow their own unique approach and will do whatever to have the last word in any discussion. It was a tremendous fight about every insignificant thing, and a victory in the debate was of supreme importance to both sides, which is why nobody gave up. Making significant decisions for both of them is virtually hard because none of them loves compromises, which makes it rather exhausting. However, they're well aware of the fact that they stand to lose a lot, but they are unwilling to accept it. Despite outward appearances, the two do really care about one another, and their mutually stated goals must be accomplished if they are to avoid a volatile relationship. And perk of such a relationship is that they will never grow bored together, and they'll always have something to talk about or quarrel about. 5. Aries and Scorpio. Aries women and Scorpio man. Even if she Aries and he Scorpio are certain that their relationship will have a bright future from the beginning, this future is most likely not going to be a happy one. Although the flame burns intensely, it fades out fast, and thus nothing is left in its wake. She Aries is highly erratic and impulsive. She loses her anger fast and doesn't trust anyone. Only in rare circumstances would she be able to get control of herself and be reliable for a partner of Scorpio. Because she continuously confirms his fears, he has a hard time trusting her. As it turns out, they cannot last in a relationship because of this. An Aries man with a Scorpio woman. There is a greater chance that they may despise their love for each other. And in reality, people often become enmeshed in a deep passion, but this lasts only as long as the passion exists, and is destroyed by holding a grudge and difficulties, which increase as a result of blaming each other, as they are unable to talk about important issues. When they are unable to contain themselves, they tend to erupt into rage, but they are unable to undo what they've said. He Aries is extremely impulsive and often becomes enraged and slaps his spouse because to his fury. Because of her ambitions, she can't forget about them, as she keeps grudges and is ready to utilize them when the time calls for it. It is in their best interest to come to a resolution as quickly as possible, and save wasted time and regret. 6. Aries and Libra. Aries woman and Libra man. That pair has a lot of similarities, and all the differences between them serve to further enhance one another. However, they have to keep an eye out to prevent their desires from interfering with one another's, especially while they're trying to accomplish their goals, since arguments might generate bigger problems. It would be nice to discover something the two of you like doing together. In such a situation, it would do only good, and being apart is thus bad for them. It's easier for them to express themselves effectively, which enables them to make any major life choice without stress, which then enhances their connection and trust. Both sides know that this relationship isn't fulfilling all of their emotional requirements, and if they feel this way, they may seek pleasure outside of it. Aries man and a Libra woman. In its best, the couple of he Aries and she Libra may find harmony and joy, but it will need a lot of participation, especially learning to accept and understand one another. Anything insignificant may produce a tempest in a teacup, after which reconciliation could be difficult. When an argument becomes severe, it's essential to find solutions utilizing concessions and to avoid holding one another responsible. To bear in mind that he, the authoritarian Aries, desires his partner to comply with him, at least to some degree, and would not yield regardless of the circumstances or her character. She Libra has to remind herself that she is Libra. It will not be difficult to appease him if she shows some goodwill, particularly because he does not want to utilize his power in that way to put her in a state of being controlled. Perhaps it's due to his fascination with her and eagerness to do anything for her, even control his impulses to dominate. 7 Aries and Virgo. Aries woman and Virgo man. A passionate interest, which commonly emerges among she Aries and he Virgo, does not last long enough to sustain a relationship over time. When she Aries is unfaithful, this desire may bury the connection, even if it's mutual. When she wants to exploit every chance that life provides her, she does not want to be with only one man. Monogamy is for her. He is reliable and expects the same from his life partner. Therefore, he Virgo won't tolerate it. Additionally, he wants a house that is both safe and stable, where he will have a place to seek refuge after a hard day. As a result, he wants to make sure that his partner is reliable and stable. Passionate she Aries, on the other hand, is not always predictable. Aries man and Virgo woman. He Aries and she Virgo have numerous distinctions, and they can be hurdles to their connection, which is why the two of them may not be able to constantly be complements to the people they're involved with. She Virgo is extremely detail-oriented. She formulates a plan that she follows, and every degree of spontaneity destabilizes her. He Aries operates on impulse, making hasty decisions without pausing to carefully consider every step. This may drive she Virgo insane. Her partner's carefully planned and disciplined life may be incomprehensible to him, and it is possible he may ridicule her, crushing her motivation and spirit. Although he is most attracted to her femininity, it is she who ends the relationship, not him. To have a better possibility of making a long-term connection, a couple must go along with their spouse, no matter how painful it may be. Of course, that's why they must compromise on many things. 8 Aries and Leo. Aries woman and Leo man. A difficult relationship, since the first stages are marked by many fights and disagreements, and only a select few people have the patience and motivation to power through the tough times. Those individuals are capable of creating a loving and respectful relationship, and it's worth doing. Being both positive and energetic allows them to keep on believing in themselves, even when they're going through tough times, and this encourages them to work hard. They have an optimistic view of the future, as well as their future together. This generally takes care of it. They both feel valued, since they don't hesitate to compliment each other, and furthermore, they may communicate how delighted they are with their spouse. In other words, they don't want to limit the other person. Aries man and Leo women. However, they'll certainly not have a dull existence together, because it will be lively, full of enthusiasm, and loaded with unique, exciting event options. It will also be unique and engaging for both customers and providers. Since they understand each other completely, they're conscious of their own requirements, which is why they're able to reach agreement with each other all the time. They go above and beyond in an effort to meet each other's standards, and if they fall short in anything, they are understanding enough to stay together. They truly are buddies, and they're exceptionally comfortable with each other. They like to do the same activities together, so they may enjoy one another's company without growing bored. Their arguments are more likely to occur exclusively in the workplace. Thus, working or running a business together may lead to power struggles and harm their relationship. 9. Aries and Cancer. Aries woman and Cancer man. A relationship like this will be neither calm nor fully pleasant, and continual concessions will be required. In other words, every person has individual characteristics, which might be difficult to bear for the one they are with. It needs to be accepted before a clear understanding can be established. Both spouses should remain calm, control their anger, and learn to put up with the partner's flaws. As new to the relationship, their focus is entirely on the connection itself. However, when their attention begins to wane, which tends to happen faster than in other relationships, the problem arises. She Aries is inclined to act on impulse, and this may anger he Cancer, who is often rather possessive of her. Initially, she may very well be charmed by his attention, and may assume that it means that he loves her. However, sooner or later, she will realize that it is unfair and frustrating to be continually controlled and controlled-like way, and she will fight for her relationship. On the other hand, it is clearly seen that both of them will have to put in a lot of effort to compensate for their own weaknesses, which might harm their relationship. But if they're able to pull it off, then they have a good opportunity for a long-term connection. Aries man and Cancer women. While these individuals are somewhat different, as they belong to distinct components, they have a better chance of excelling in all aspects of life, especially in love. He Aries may have issues with maintaining his temper in tense times, which makes him difficult to get along with, or even combative. She Cancer, as seen by her warmth and emotion, has a very good probability of succeeding in a relationship with him because of his fury. Her loving support helps him see the need of managing his bad emotions while he feels supported and loved, helping him realize the significance of regulating his negative emotions. Also, she knows that he cares for her, that he wants to be there for her, and that they're different from other couples. 10. Aries and Gemini. Aries women and Gemini man. This interest may develop into travel for both of them, since they are both interested in exploring different cultures and countries. They are also predisposed to imaginative fantasizing and strong beliefs, which enables them to easily comprehend the gist of it. The main barrier that threatens to tear the partnership apart is Gemini's propensity for affairs, which won't be accepted by a she Aries, who is highly jealous, especially when she suspects something. Such a lady is prone to starting pointless disputes over issues that are of little importance, which only makes the environment in their relationship worse. He Gemini has a bad inclination to commit adultery, and until he represses that tendency, he will not have a good relationship with she Aries. This can be an effective mix in the distinct worlds of business and friendship, but it will never lead to love. Aries man and Gemini women. It's one of the greatest pairings, since those people have several differences that draw them together and enhance each other. He Aries is a very active and unrestrained sort of person, with a fiery temperament, who might, however, be controlled by a prudent and dependable she Gemini. It doesn't imply they will live in peace, since they can sometimes quarrel about financial or professional difficulties, and if the dispute revolves on money or the workplace, the situation could jeopardize their relationship. In spite of their claims, they may just be in it for the physical pleasure. Nevertheless, if they are truly willing to maintain the relationship, they will find a way to communicate in even the most sensitive topic, and their love will withstand any storm. When they first meet their partner, they are so dazzled by the person that they are unaware of his/her flaws and faults, which allow them to overlook even slight misunderstandings. However, when they become aware of these traits, they know that building a solid foundation for their relationship must involve making compromises. 11. Aries and Taurus. Aries woman and Taurus man. It is difficult to maintain a healthy relationship, as people differ in temperaments. He Taurus is capable of being deeply in love, but is also quite emotional. He wishes to have all his emotions and sentiments expressed, and is looking for the same in return. If he doesn't feel satisfied in a relationship that doesn't fulfill his fundamental requirements, then he will feel discontent. That is why Aries types cannot be in a relationship with other Aries types, since Aries types are not as emotional and extroverted as Aries types are. Her feelings, even the most lovely and honest, are seldom shown, and she may sometimes be impolite. Taurus, even if he or she attempts to accommodate and thaw her icy heart with desire, will not accept such type of behavior for a long time. If he is waiting for her to change, and she is not, he will undoubtedly spend many years and fail to realize his goal. Therefore, he should find another person to live. Taurus woman and Aries man. Boredom is not possible in a relationship like this, as boredom can't coexist with interest. While they don't want to comply, they have enough in common to be able to establish common ground and frequently realize that they have common life objectives. She Taurus is thoughtful and consistent, while he Aries is excitable and impulsive, which influences both himself and his spouse. During their time together, she blossoms and becomes active, as she feels like a baby. He recognizes all of her excellent principles and openly admires her, which encourages mutual respect. With any major disputes unlikely, their friendship remains strong. Every time, they are able to find a middle ground, as they are both reasonable and dislike taking drastic measures. In other words, they're even able to argue constructively, which implies that their relationship is rarely harmed. 12. Aries and Aries. Aries woman and Aries man. While neither prefers to own mistakes, no one is willing to apologize. With repeated conflicts, one side may become exhausted and want to quit. It is not entirely impossible that she Aries may consent to lying to save someone's feelings once in a while, since she is rather empathetic and more sensitive than he Aries. However, you never know when she Aries will allow someone be overpowered in the moment. A downside of this approach is that if the two couples attempt to accept each other, they may be certain that their love will be intense, but also rather passionate and fierce, as they both fear losing each other. Both a guy and a woman are able to achieve anything because of their tendency to be in a hurry. The flame eventually burns out once the initial interest wanes, and when the love is more developed, they have the capability to find a lot of things they have in common, and are therefore better equipped to create their future.